I didn't. Here it is. All right, welcome to Truth Tuesday. Over on my channel, the second half's on Lisa's channel. Like when Lisa, or the link to her channel is on my main page and on YouTube. Just scroll down, and she's there at the bottom, smiling.
Thank you.
We talked about lot of stuff that's going on with Trump and his arrest, which forever I've been saying. It's like it's historic. It's never happened. He has his own law enforcement with the Secret Service, and they're going to be cops versus cops if he's arrested. It's very odd, but we'll see how it plays out. I did want to talk about the Libertarian thing and how my opinions on it. But I wanted to play that because I talked about that Asian doctor chick who I think is horrible. I don't know if I have the meme I made. Do I? No, not that.
Because I thought it introduced a lot of cool concepts. Like I learned a lot of cool concepts that I think libertarians like. Bitcoin. I think it orange pilled a lot of MAGA, talking about Bitcoin and who the heck is Ross and who the heck is,
that's the thing.
You know what I mean?
It could have been an amazing, beautiful, awesome thing. And
I think it still was. I think there's a lot of good that came out of it, but I think it also destroyed the Libertarian Party.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. They're messed up. And where is it? Jeff Berwick said, let me see if I can share it.
I think it did more good for MAGA than it did the Libertarian Party, for sure.
What? No. Profile. Likes. Berwick said John McAfee was the best person to run for the Libertarian Party since Harry Brown. So where's the... Yeah, this is the guy.
I thought that was a joke.
Because I've never heard of him. I decided to look up the new Libertarian presidential candidate. Chase Oliver. It's way worse than I thought. How is the Libertarian Party always a total joke? And it is. Everyone knows this guy's not going to win. So what are they standing for? I mean, it's literally the left, which I feel like...
So then did the left just hijack the Libertarian Party? Because
yes,
people that I know that claim to be libertarians do not align with any of that.
Right. Well, I mean, that's why I said I feel like Bill Maher. It's like, I haven't changed. We haven't changed. You guys have changed. Bill Maher's like, I'm a liberal. I've always been a liberal. And now the liberals are fascists. It's you people that changed. It's not me. The liberal party is now the party of big government, taking away your rights, all that. It's been true. And that's why Bill Maher's, said some pretty decent stuff in the past year or so. But he does hate Trump, and he does have that syndrome, which is it's a real thing. I think in the future there'll be some and that's you know what, there's something I've been researching, want to talk about the mind control thing and the CIA and deep state, how they've used it, and certain things that have happened in history that I don't know a lot of people know about. But my dad was in the first Gulf War, and it was a very weird thing. A lot of weird stuff happened. And looking back on it, I think that the government did a lot of experiments on everyone involved in that theater. And one thing was mind control. I don't know if you. I remember very vividly. I was a really really young guy, and my buddy was like, "Oh man, it's gonna be the worst thing ever." I was like, "What are you talking about, dudes? We're gonna go in there and kick ass." And I was like, "No, man, we've never fought these people before. These Middle Eastern people are crazy. They're it's all jihadist, and it's like we have no idea. You have no idea how bad it's going to be." And I was like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, man. These are people that it's like they just don't care about living or dying. It's like we've never fought it." And these this and Iraqi soldiers were like top the line in the Middle East, and everyone was shocked that they were giving up so fast they couldn't keep up with it. It's like there'd be like 10 dudes and they would just walk up to one soldier, which boom, they could kill him, but they're like, we surrender. And it was a weird thing. If you ever watch me and Joe Rhodes talk, there's just when you see something, something's off. Everybody was like, wow, that's weird. So this is the conspiracy, which is not a conspiracy, because there is the government official that let the cat out of the bag. And he said that they used mind control. He was talking about it in generics, and then he let it slip when they had used it. And I think it was Fallujah or somewhere, there was a small Marine detachment, and they were broadcasting radio. Right, it was like a radio freedom, giving information, but it was broadcasting another signal, so which was telling soldiers to surrender and to not fight. So Saddam supposedly, and this is real. This other part, Saddam is like, why are my soldiers just giving up? Why isn't anyone fighting? What's going on? And his head intelligence said the CIA is running this mind control thing here, and he said, okay. And a lot of the his cabinet were like, no, that's sci-fi, dude. He said that's stuff that we've heard. And he said, okay, I want everything to go and destroy that. So he sent like a huge force, and there was hardly any Marines there because like everybody, there was no resistance. They were just walking through. They left this area, with like a skeleton amount of people. So his soldiers came in. They weren't expecting it, and they killed. They killed the Marines, and they destroyed the radio broadcasting place and the tower. And then after that, things picked up, and there was some fighting. So this, I'll find it. I was going to do a whole thing on it, where this government official let that slip and said, like, during the Gulf War, we did gather a lot of intel and information, and they had these sensors everywhere that they had put up, like every base, every place there was that they had set up. They had these towers that would have these sensors if they detected any chemical warfare, because that was a big thing, because Saddam had used chemical weapons on his own people for testing. So they were all scared of that. And these alarms, which if you know anyone that was there, they'll tell you the alarms kept going off. But then they would say, "Oh, don't worry about it. It was just an accident." But they would go off. Everybody had to put on their hazmat stuff. Like it was like and they wouldn't say it was a drill. They'd say it accidentally went off. But a lot of people think that they were
exposing them.
They were exposing them, and they were doing experimentation.
Well, that's what you're going to start hearing a lot about, the atomic vets. So that was in the NDAA, Trump's last NDAA. That it's in there about the atomic vets, which is what my dad was when they did all that testing out in the Nevada desert and all that stuff, and that they were exposing them to radiation.
Yeah, well, if you heard of the Cuba syndrome or Havana syndrome, so that's the funny thing, because the CIA said, "Hey, this doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. We didn't use it, in the Gulf War. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist." And then all these people get sick with this weird syndrome, and immediately like, "Oh yeah, they were using this frequency. We know all about it."
Yeah, Havana syndrome.
And now they're it's like they're admitting that they've been lying, because they're saying that, yeah, it's possible. It's not science fiction.
This is where World War II never ended. And they have been doing testing on the American people for years. I mean, if you read Fruit from a Poisonous Tree, there are weather balloons that went over the United States. They launched, they blew infected mosquitoes over Americans. I mean, there's been over and over and over things. I mean, the military is one of the biggest groups of populations that have been tested on, but they've been testing on all of us. The food thing we just talked about on my channel.
Yeah, which is the food thing. It's so basic, and we're morons and idiots. We
The
are.
food thing's blatant. Like, you have the experience of living in other countries where the food is not allowed in other countries.
Yeah, how can, but we still would eat it. We'd still drink the Mountain Dew, and that's the thing that's like, it's so bad.
Have you seen the commercial or there's like memes now or pictures where they'll show you Fanta in other countries is a different color, and it's like bright orange.
It looks like orange juice, and ours looks like nuclear waste.
Fake nuclear waste, yes.
And there's so much of our food that's illegal in other countries. And like saying that, like, people laugh, like, ha ha ha.
No.
Which is weird, because we're conditioned that the FDA wouldn't approve it. I don't know what it is. I don't, honestly, just trying to make an excuse for why we're so stupid and why we do it. But I lost my train of thought again. That's the biggest. Oh, here, yeah. So there's this food called, like,
that's the fluoride.
Strom something, or Strom whatever. It's rotten fish. It's like in Finland. It's like this. It's a delicacy. It's the most putrid thing in the world, right? It's rotten fish. Like, if the can is swollen because it's of the gases, because it's decaying, it can blow up. The cans can blow up because the gases build up from the rotting fish. It's illegal to bring on a plane in any way, shape, or form, because it's so stinky, so bad, and it tastes like rotting fish. It's disgusting. Now, I've seen videos of people who, like, I've never seen anyone eat it, but they'll eat, like, a little tiny piece and puke, or it's like the hot chip challenge kind of thing.
Yeah.
Now I'm never going to eat that. I just from what I mean, the smell, just from knowing what I know, I'm not going to eat that. It's going to be horrible and disgusting. Like the chip thing, maybe I could take it. Maybe I can't. I don't know, but that's like, I might try it, but not the gross thing that no one has ever. Yeah. It's disgusting, but it's legal. Literally, in that country where people eat that, there's a lot of my food that is illegal,
right,
because of the chemicals and things that are in it. But I'm eating that. I'll have that.
I saw something similar to that, where a guy took American candy to, like, African tribes that just eat natural things or whatever, and he asked this chief to eat some candy or whatever, and he asked him what it tastes like, and he said bile.
Yeah.
He said candy tastes like bile, and this he gave it to a child, and the child like spit it out immediately. He was like, "That's disgusting," you know. And we're trained to have that sugar rush condition, you know,
Yeah.
craving. That it's probably disgusting. Another one, they were boiling Coke and showed that it made this like disgusting tar and like started eating the pan. Like it's disturbing what
Yeah.
we.
And if you put Diet Coke, there's nothing. It just disappears because there's no sugar and stuff. But
It's disgusting.
yeah, but we eat it. Now the programmable thing, that's interesting. See, I think we're programmed and to eat this disgusting stuff. Because we talked about like me now. I'm eating no sugar,
Mhm.
no bread, no I'm on Atkins keto whatever. But I've done it before years ago, and when I tasted something, when I came off of it, it was like, oh my god, that's so sweet. And I'm not that way. There's people that are like, oh man, that's so sweet. I'm like, that tastes good. But I was like blown away by how sweet like a Coke was or Mountain Dew. It was like syrup, and I think that's what we're programmed to where like, you know, that's the high fructose corn syrup. It's like so much sweeter than sugar, and it's in everything.
Mhm.
And we have to acquire a taste for it. And then like natural stuff, we think it tastes bland. It's not sweet at all. Like, oh, this cherry pie is not sweet at all. It's kind of tart. It's
Oh,
like,
wasn't ketchup part of that, Vietnam War thing? And there's some tie-in with that and getting people addicted to it, and, um, I can't remember the whole story of that, but there's
you
some tie-in with that and getting the soldiers addicted to ketchup and them not wanting to eat it or something. I can't remember the story of that.
to more over in Vietnam than ketchup, I tell you that.
What what's that?
So they got addicted to a lot more than ketchup over there.
Well, there you go.
Parasites are also present if you're craving sweets. Yeah,
Yeah, I've heard that.
there are. It's
And cancer is fed by sugar as well, and cancer may be a parasite itself.
mhm.
We're learning a lot.
I watched this channel. This guy married this Italian woman, and it's about Italian like food and stuff. And you know what a limoncello is?
Mhm.
Okay, he said first you can't have any of the white of the lemon. You have to peel just the skin off of like a bunch of lemons, and no white at all. Just the
Is
skin,
this?
the oils.
Mhm.
And he said, but you have to know where the um, lemons come from. He said because this is most when it comes to FDA and that kind of stuff, they don't think you're going to eat the rind. It's not so they can have a lot of even if you wash it, there's stuff that's soaked in, not that much, but just like millimeters. And but that's what you're peeling off that level. So he said even organic. He said he grew up on an organic farm. That doesn't mean there's no pesticides. They still use pesticides on organic farms, just different kinds, and that's all in the rind of the lemon. Like if you make it, you need to like have someone that has a lemon tree that you got the lemons from or where it was from, but there can't be any uh, pesticides because that'll come right out in the alcohol.
Mm. Mhm.
Um, and just like hearing that, uh, also this is disgusting. All strawberries have bugs in them. If you eat strawberries,
No, they have
wash
hair. I
them.
cannot eat a strawberry.
There's bugs.
They're
So
disgusting.
this you buy some strawberries during season. It's like $1.99. Sprinkle some baking soda or whatever, and then pour the vinegar, and it'll all bubble up, and you'll see tons of bugs. It is very gross.
Mm, I don't like
The
them.
worms in fish. I don't know if you saw that.
I don't eat
That are
fish either.
all being sold. Um, all over the U.S. that are, and they like, so they go wild. That is also another thing about TikTok. Like these things go viral. On TikTok, everyone sees, hey, look, I'm in Costco, and they'll like show the worms, and then as the government comes out and says, yeah, those worms are in all fish, but they're inactive unless they get to a certain temperature, and then they become active. They should be inactive because it should be cold enough, and then when you cook it, it kills them. So they're like, it's fine, and they're worms. It's horrid. Anyway, we should talk about the Trump going up to the Libertarian Party.
Okay, let's talk about something else.
I always thought personally that Trump's biggest mistakes were when he tried to play ball and was not himself. When he was not middle finger Trump. He tried to make nice and he got screwed. I think, and also, if he doesn't understand something or know something, he will not talk about it and will get out of it. He was asked about Bitcoin, and I don't think he knew a fucking thing about Bitcoin. I think he's an old man who knew nothing, and he was like, hey, I don't. It's I've heard of it. It's all right. I don't really like it that much. I like the dollar. I want the dollar to be strong. He flipped it, and everyone's like, oh, he hates Bitcoin, but he did. I just think he didn't know, and he turned it to, I like the dollar. I'm gonna make the dollar stronger. I'm gonna make the dollar better. That's ultra political. That's what I think it was. Now he knows about crypto, and he's come out and be like, yeah, crypto is pretty good, But I think he just didn't know.
I just think it was a timing thing. It wasn't the right time for him to talk about it. And at that time, if he said he liked it, it was the Trump derangement syndrome. If he said he liked it, then all that other side would have just said they hated it. It would have been counterproductive to the effort.
Yeah, but I don't think he's that into it.
I don't think
he cares about the effort. You know what I mean? I think he didn't know.
Why does he have his own NFTs? Why did Melania put out a whole series of NFTs?
Right. This is all after he said that. So when he was asked, you can go look at it. I think he just didn't know. He deflected and turned it to the dollar. I think
he's one of the most intelligent men.
Okay, look, you want to marry him, you can marry him.
I don't want to marry him. I'm already married to an amazing man.
I don't think he knew a fucking thing about crypto. I don't think he knew a fucking thing about Bitcoin, so that it existed. And the way he flipped it and turned it towards the dollar was ultra political. And
yeah,
it was his play. It was a play that he does.
It was brilliant.
Like when he was being booed, crazy booed off the platform at the Libertarian thing he went to, and he was just like, well, I guess you guys like losing. I thought maybe you wanted to win, but maybe you're used to getting 3%, and this is just what you want. And it is so weird how, like, this one guy went up afterwards. He's like, we're libertarians. You can hate the guy, but we're supposed to be the ones who listen and have debate and have talk. And, we're libertarians. We're not leftist Nazis who don't let someone talk. We're supposed to believe in free speech, and you do this. I mean, it was ridiculous. But now I think that he learned a bit more. Now he's talking about things that like Ross and Assange. I think he knew about Assange, and I think that he wanted to play with the deep state a little, and he was like, all right, I'm not going to do anything for Assange. I'm not going to do anything with Ross, because he has the police. And if you do something if he was to side with, is my opinion, if he was to do anything for Ross, it comes to drugs and the over what's it called? Sensationalized, the over sensationalization of what his crime was. Like people are like he sold the young porn, and he sold people getting offed, and he sold the drugs, and but he just created a platform. And but if he were to pardon him then, I think he would have lost.
He's not pardoning him. He's going to commute his sentence, is what he said.
Either one. If he's going to help him in any way, and reverse the justice that our justice system has imposed on him, I think he would have lost a lot of support for the police, because it would have been spun out of control with the mainstream media. So I think that's why he tried to play nice there. With Assange, the intelligence community hates Assange. He exposed so much of their shit. He is their devil. And I think he tried to play nice and not. It's like, I won't mess with him. And you guys leave me alone for this. He thought he was going to win. He didn't win. I think he's wiser. I think he knows literally there's no one that he can trust in the swamp. I think he was dumb for thinking he could, or naive. He was naive, because he was a president. I mean, he was a president. He was getting things done. He thought he had a lot more authority when it came to the deep state, I think. But they're evil, man. It's like trying to make it's frog and the scorpion. They're gonna do what they're gonna do. Period. They're not gonna be your friend. They're gonna.
All of this was done a long time ago.
They're gonna stick you, and you're gonna drown.
Assange has babies, and I think that's why we saw him being moved and all of that. But maybe we'll know one day.
I do not have TDS or tinnitus or anything else.
What's TDS?
Trump derangement syndrome.
Oh. I love it.
Whatever the antithesis of that, that's what Lisa has.
Oh, goodness.
I don't know.
I have constitutional awareness syndrome.
There's it seems like there's so many people who are awake now, but
I've noticed that even I got on Facebook the other day, which I never do, and there's people who years ago, when I was first starting to wake up, they wouldn't have said shit if their mouth was full of it.
Yeah.
And they are speaking up, and they're like, yeah, we're tired of this and enough, and putting all this patriotic stuff on. And I'm like, when did you get some backbone?
Which is true, but it's still like, it's like accepted. You know what I mean? Like, it's like the Area 51. Like, dude, you lied to us. You ruined people's lives. You killed people. It's like, and now you're just like, yeah, it was real. Like, we knew it. There's no, like, everybody knows they're in the Matrix, but no one wants to go and fight.
But they should be mad about it, right?
Yeah, they should.
The consequences. Yeah.
Yeah. It's and that's, I think that's part of what the plan has been for the past, however many decades, making people dumber, more accept the fluoride thing you said, with food, everything. I mean, look at Europe. Look at those pussies in Europe. They're standing up for their government, and they have no fucking guns. They have no guns. They drive fucking tractors and throw shit at their parliament building.
I know, it's awesome.
And they don't have any guns. We have so much, and we have been turned into these, like, just accepting everything, complaining. It's like, yeah, memes are great, but they're not scared of that. They don't seem to be that scared of awareness. I mean, the Epstein didn't kill himself. That was such a huge thing. That was literally every person that said that or posted the meme or whatever. Mm-hmm. They were saying, I know that my government doesn't work. I know there's people that are in control and shut down a police or a jail in the middle of the biggest city in the world. They murdered someone and got away with it. They turned.
To cover up
this is like movie. This is
people,
Bond shit. This is Bond shit.
right?
This
To
is something
cover up a
yeah.
pedophile ring. Yeah.
Or like Spectre. It's like some huge, terrible. Everyone that said that or posted it, they're like, I know this is how it is. I understand. It's like, what are you gonna do? How much? And then the whole, the fact that Hunter's still around.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like, what is it? What's enough? I do think that the farm, which I told you like last week, I think big pharma is the one. Nobody likes them. Everyone is starting to, because there's not cures anymore. Remember, there used to be cures, and now everything's a treatment.
Treatment, right?
Everything's a treatment. There's no cure. I mean, like antibiotics, but there used to be a cure for things. That was the goal. Now it's not. And then when you say simple shit like they get put out of business if they cure it or they heal you, they're in business to make money. And then also, like, we accept it. Oh, that drug cost $1,000 here, but that same drug miles away from us cost $80.
Mm-hmm.
It's and we're like, oh, what are you gonna do? It's so bad. I think the only thing that's gonna fix it is what they've made us afraid to say.
Did you see the story about the Mexican army rounding up Americans and deporting them?
No.
Because so this just was over the weekend, I think I saw it. They are rounding up. So there's a bunch of like Americans that because the economy is so bad here. So there's like, I think it's older Americans, but like they're living there because it's causing massive inflation in Mexico. But because the Americans are going there to like retire or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's causing massive inflation because they can't afford a little bit more there. So the Mexican army or military is rounding up Americans and deporting them to send them back because it's affecting the economy in Mexico so much and causing massive inflation. And so I just saw this article this weekend. I just saw this story this weekend. And so I was like, that's crazy. Like that's something
that's
you would.
BS.
No, it's not BS.
No, that's BS. But the government, that's the government doing that to try to get an excuse. Oh, it's the gringos. That's why we have mass. It's not our fault that we have all this inflation and everything. They're like, it's these few people, which they, if you want to be an expat and you want to go retire in one of those countries, you have to show proof that you have a decent amount of money, that you have an income that's going to be coming in, that you're in
Who's making in Mexico?
The government. To get a visa in the government, any South American country you want to go retire there, you want to go there, you have to show proof that you have income.
Who are you showing it to?
To the government to get a visa.
So they can come here without showing anything.
You have to go and prove all that. So you're not going to be a drag on the economy. You're going to be able to boost the economy. If you have a business, you'll only hire people from that country. You're not going to bring people in from another country. You're not bringing in Chinese people or Americans, or you're going to only hire. That's how all the South American countries are. So they require a certain level of affluence before those people can go retire there. They don't just let anybody walk in and get it. And then your visa, when you're living there, is only good for 2 years. You've got to go renew. Some place like Belize and some other places, it's only good for a year.
Well, that's what they're saying is that because these people are affluent, they have all their US dollars, and that it's because of that they're spending US dollars, and that's causing the peso to be worth less. and that's what's causing their massive inflation.
Yeah, they're putting money into the economy that makes it worse. It's literally what we've been talking about the whole time. The government says, "Oh, this is what it is," and it's common sense. Like, no, that's dumb. But it's like, oh, okay, well then let's get rid of the gringos and their money, and let's have less purchases, and now there's less people that are going to be going out to dinner, that are going to be employing the chefs, employing the bus boys, employing the food delivery guys. All that goes away when those people leave, and that's just basic economics. And but people are dumb. People are dumb in Mexico. People are dumb in the United States. If their government says that's the problem, they're like, well, let's fix it and get rid of that. That's all it is. But it's not. People need to wake up and think critical, and then stand up. I mean, in Mexico, somewhere where they stand up to the government a lot. When the government tries to do, they literally will. They're like Europeans. They'll go dump shit on Parliament steps. But yeah, that's dumb. Let's wrap it up. It was a good Tuesday. Love y'all.
Was a good Tuesday. Thanks, you guys, for joining us in the chat.
And then if you get a chance to come to Europe, Netherlands, I'll give you a trip. The Netherlands are gorgeous. They are very, very awesome. I had a meeting with this guy, me and Lee did the other day, and he's like, "Oh, my internet's a little fuzzy. I'm at my restaurant on the top of this mountain here in Colombia, right here at this waterfall." And I was like, "Dang, that sounds really nice." They sent me some pictures. It was very, very beautiful. I like waterfalls. I don't know if you guys waterfalls. I think they're cool. All right. I wish I had that one meme I did with that terrible woman, but
oh yeah.
Wait, let me see if I can find it. I don't think I can find it, but I'll see. No. What's that? No. Well, I'll have it next week.
Bye.
Yeah, I'll have it next week. Y'all know what I'm saying?
Yeah.